What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and it's time to look at the Crows and the Swans. We're going to be previewing this one. Well, kind of previewing, kind of rambling, kind of like the thing we did on Monday with the Hawthorn Dogs match. Oh, I'm meant to be playing when I'm really not meant to be playing. I was just going to watch again and sort of work it out. I'm, again, using last week's team. So, a couple of things that you will notice is there should be a few changes to the teams. Callum Mills and Kurt Tippett will not be playing from all reports tomorrow night. But I am recording this in advance, so I will not know the correct lineups for either side yet. I wouldn't think Adelaide would make any changes after last week. They're normally pretty good. That guy actually ran outside of the square to do the kick in. That was an interesting one. But this is going to be, like every match from now on is so good because, you know, the quality of the teams left are just, oh my god, I got the hiccups now, are just outstanding. Hawthorn and the Bulldogs, you know, that's coming up tonight from when you guys see this video. And it's going to be incredible. Eddie Betts just gets on the board there. It's Eddie. But, yeah, it's going to be, like, two incredible matches. Apart from Geelong St Kilda, like, I think this was probably the best match of the season. Even greater than Geelong St Kilda. The other one that was probably hyped up a bit more was because it was on free-to-air. But this one was just an incredible matchup. If you haven't seen the Swans v Adelaide contest from this year, the Crows won by about 10 points in the end. Eddie Betts kicked a number of goals. He kicked 6 or something like that. And they pretty much, it was one of the most back-and-forward games you would have seen all year. The margin never got bigger than about 15 points at any stage throughout the match. And it was just an extraordinarily exciting game. Lots of free-flowing, lots of, you know, big plays from both sides. And it really made it for a very interesting contest. I think, you know, both contrasting styles. I mean, there's lot of hardball stuff and just exciting about how things happened. Pretty much, but yeah, it was a great match is what I'm trying to get at this stage. But yeah, it is going to be an exquisite match. It's at the SCG, as you can see here. We're actually playing at the SCG. I'm pretty sure we're playing at the SCG here. Tippett is one of those players who will not be playing though. I think he's got like a broken jaw or something, or they're definitely getting scans on his jaw to see if there was any issues there, and then they were going to look at like whether he had concussion or not as well. A couple of big head knocks. But if we take a look at, you know, the Sydney side, if anyone's going to come in for those guys, I don't know. Obviously the teams would have been named by now, but they lost the NEAFL Grand Final on the weekend to the GWS reserves, and it was a 4-point game. The last quarter went for 37 minutes. It was a stretcher at the beginning of that last quarter, which sort of made that game go on forever. And there was no real standout for me, apart from maybe James Rose, that is going to be, you know, in Cunningham? Was he? Yeah, Cunningham was pretty good as well. And but like guys like Teddy Richards, he's probably not going to get his spot in this final series. He'll probably retire at the end of the year too. Because he didn't look great, especially, you know, at big contests in that final quarter. He definitely messed up a few of them. So yeah, it's going to be one of those matches that we're not going to have any idea what's going to happen. Sydney could get knocked out in straight sets for the second consecutive year, and what would that make their season like? I mean, if they lost this game, they then go to that's 2 years in a row where they finished top 4. Last year they finished 4th, got knocked out. This year they finished 1st on the ladder. Premiership favourites get knocked over by the Giants, and then if they get knocked over by the Crows, gee, I mean, do we say that they struggle in big games? I mean, I know last year they had Luke Parker break his leg, and Buddy Franklin didn't play in the finals last year because of the mental illness thing, and now, you know, you've got Tippett and Callum Mills going down. So again, they're losing critical players at, you know, key moments. Do we start to think, you know, where are the Swans going? But like the reality is, they got such a young young list. I mean, you look at their players, Mills, Alir, Heaney. They got so many of these kids coming through, which everyone should be rightly pissed about because of the academy. I mean, there's two ways you can look at the academies. Yes, they're good for obviously getting kids in the northern states to play AFL instead of a different code instead of rugby. But they are actually so uneven for the competition, it's not funny. Like Callum Mills, picked 3 in last year's draft, and apparently that was equal to, in the AFL's eyes, pick 33, 34, 35, or 36 and 37. Something like that. So 4 of those mid-30 picks were supposed to be equivalent to pick 3. Which is, it's kind of annoying when, Sydney could be a team that win the flag and could still get the best player in the draft if it's come through their academy. The academy should be set up by the AFL rather than by the clubs. I think that way it would probably create more equalisation throughout the groups and things like that. But as long as it doesn't diminish sort of player, like kids coming through to play, to not play AFL, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm not going to here to talk about the academies and things. I'm here to talk about this game. The Crows had a huge win over North Melbourne. I don't think anyone thought otherwise was going to happen. Even probably the most optimistic North Melbourne supporter thought it was going to be a little bit far-fetched to see them getting over the line at the Adelaide Oval. And in the end, what was the final score? It was a belting, wasn't it? It was 21-15, 141 to 12-7, 79. So the Crows, obviously with the biggest score in that first weekend of the finals by a long way. Next best was the Western Bulldogs, who scored 99 points. The Giants 91. And then you got the Cats and the Hawks mid-80s for those two sides. So they have that scoring ability, and we have seen it, at times this year be a huge dominant, or majority it's been a huge dominant force. But when we look at the Crows and we see, all right, if Betts doesn't fire, if Lynch doesn't fire, and if Walker or Jenkins don't fire, who's really going to kick the winning score for them? So let's take a look back at Adelaide and West Coast last Friday of the year, and then compare that to how they went this weekend against North Melbourne. So we look at Adelaide and West Coast, and the Crows, let's have a look at their goal kickers. Douglas kicked 2, Ellis Yeoman kicked 2, Betts kicked 1, Jenkins kicked 1, no goals for Lynch or for Captain Walker, right? So those 4, Betts, Lynch, Walker and Jenkins, had 2 goals between them. This weekend, they had 14 goals between them. So it is a contrast as to how to shut down the forward line. I mean, if you can get Walker to play up the ground, if you can get, Betts locked down by a Rampy or a Nick Smith or something, if you can get Lynch, accountable at the other end of the ground, and, if you can get Jenkins to stop getting him over the back goals, that's how you shut down this Crows forward line. There's 4 key players, and if you knock out those 4 key players, chances are they don't have too many goal-kicking midfielders that are going to be able to carry them to a winning score. It's such a different thing when you look at, maybe a Hawthorn or something, because even when their, I guess, goal-kicking forwards don't fire, I mean, we had, Bruce kick 3, Gunston kick 2, and Rioli kick 2. Well, yeah, that game's sort of different. But you still have like guys like Burgoyne who can kick a couple of goals. Lewis can go forward and kick a few goals. Hodge can kick goals. Isaac Smith obviously missed the last goal. So they do have a number of players that can, push through that midfield and kick the goals. And I don't know if the Crows have that capacity. Although who kicked a couple of goals for them this weekend? Some guy was pretty good, and he kicked 2. I'm trying to remember what his name was. He kicked 2 like from outside 50. It might have been, Brody Smith. That's the one. He was probably their most likely one at kicking goals throughout that stage. But yeah, otherwise, anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's probably going to be you know, if Eddie can fire, there's a good chance the Swans will win. Alright, so it's back in round 4, because I thought it was round 10, because it was a 10-point win, that's why. But back in round 4, probably the best game of the season. Who kicked the goals for the Crows? Betts, Lynch, Walker, and Jenkins had 10 goals between them in that game. McGovern, Seedsman, and Douglas and Atkins kicked the other 6. So, Betts kicked 4 goals in that game. He kicked 6 this past weekend. Eddie Betts is going to be the man to take this Crows side to a victory. Swans go forward, finding Hanbury. He's got a man in the middle. Look up, son. There it is. That's the man I was looking at. Parker getting there. Oh, nice. I think it was Heaney actually breaking for him in the beginning. And he kicks wide to Xavier Richards. Probably not the greatest of options because he's got a tightish angle. 45 out, 50-degree angle, maybe 60-degree angle. With the left foot, long, top of the goal square, Tippett. Tippett was pretty OP in this game, I'm not going to lie. Was insanely overpowered. But, he just missed one before. And he's nailed this one with a little banana. Little right foot banana. 7-point Swans lead. Adelaide haven't actually scored in this third term. Anyway, I want you guys to tell me who you think is going to win in the comments below, as well as who you want to win in the comments below. I'll be going for the Crows in this one. I mean, I have nothing against the Swans. I just don't like, you know, I feel like every team needs to have, you know, their turn at success. And Sydney have been pretty successful, and I don't really like Sydney as a place to go and visit. Melbourne is so much better. Hashtag go Melbs. Yeah, I don't know. Just something about him that annoys me a little bit. Oh, that's deliberate. That has to be deliberate. Oh, boy. He went straight for the boundary line then. Down, long to Eddie Betts. It's Charlie Cameron, actually. Not Eddie Betts. But Eddie was in the vicinity. He's going to line up and kick one. And get the job done for the Crows. It's a 1-point game. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it? He's another exciting small forward. He's probably one that needs to hit the scoreboard a little bit more in this final series. If Adelaide are going to get over the line in this one, and if their other forwards get shut down, he might be one to kick, you know, 2 or 3 and pop up and just be a little game changer there. He's got a lot of pace and speed, something that the Crows can use. Forward, long ball, Tippett gets fisted away from Artigan. Tippett picked it up again. Ball's Bills, Parker out the back goal. No, the Swans get it. Anyway, who do you, yeah, like I really want to know, it'll be, who do I, which would be the most interesting matchup here? Sydney v Geelong or Geelong v Adelaide? I think maybe Geelong v the Crows. Geelong v the Crows, is that a big rivalry? Well, Geelong have actually beaten Adelaide twice already this season. They're one team that has managed to dominate them the couple of times that they've played against them. So if the Crows can get over the line, then you know, they will face their biggest challenge all year in Geelong, because Geelong's beaten them twice. Anyway, it looks like the Swans are going to get over the line in this match here, bearing a minor miracle. But I think it will be a very close game on the weekend. No idea who's going to get the W. Sydney, you'd think, at home, finish first. And you just never know with those couple of outs what it could do to change their team. So Buddy's going to take, or Tippett's going to take a shot after the siren here as the Swans get the victory. And this would just be some icing on the cake. It's a shocking kick. He's kicked it with his left. What are you doing? Anyway, 9-point win to the the Swans, sorry. In this match, is that going to be the result tomorrow? I don't know. You don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll see you guys later.